Thoughts about critical race theory will have a major effect on how the next generation views American history. As lawmakers consider bans of certain subjects and politicians use CRT as a tool for votes, many educators are concerned about how this could affect teachers in the classroom.
Well, tonight in our third and final part of a series on critical race theory, investigative reporter Evan Watson explores what comes next.
Some educators tell me the current backlash against critical race theory feels like a rejection of social progress. Lawmakers in Virginia and North Carolina have proposed bills to restrict the teaching of institutional racism. The deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and many others sparked racial and social justice movements across America last summer.
It was everybody that was moved in the offices at the institution. Let's look at our policies. Let's look at our diversity statements. What, we don't have one? Let's get one.
But for educators like Dr. Narkita Sparkman-Key, in academia, the movements have morphed into a culture war with misunderstandings of critical race theory, false claims that it's taught in K-12 schools, and political power plays.
It's an opportunity right now for us to really capitalize off of what we've seen, the things that have happened, and to really change.
Some educators say nationwide efforts to ban concepts like CRT or the discussion of topics like white privilege or systemic racism buries the understanding of race relations in America.
If we don't challenge those things, we'll get more of the same. And then our going back to normal will be oppression, division, and those things that we've distorted critical race theory to mean.
Suffolk Public Schools Superintendent John Gordon told 13 News Now, members of a political party are using this as a hot topic platform to invoke fear in the field of education. This party consistently uses words such as divisive, racist, and Marxist to describe true diversity and inclusion efforts that are centered on equity in education. Some school leaders feel the current politicized debate could impact the classroom. Do you have any concerns about a potential chilling effect of teachers not wanting to address controversial topics or race or racism in history because of the conversation and dialogue about this right now?
I think that can have a chilling effect, and we don't want it to have a chilling effect. We want our teachers to feel comfortable teaching our curriculum.
Virginia Beach Superintendent Dr. Aaron Spence says educators have a responsibility to help students learn to think about challenging topics.
I don't see how we can build a more inclusive future if we refuse to address the issues that are in front of us.
At the state level, leaders are updating educational equity plans and working on cultural competency training for school staff. More details will come this fall.
I think the major impact it will have is that students will get to see themselves and their own personal histories reflected in what they learn.
And in a few weeks, many students will return to schools for the first time in 18 months as educators try to assess learning gaps caused by the pandemic.
There's so many things that we have to focus on right now. I wish we didn't have to be having this conversation. And it doesn't help that we're having it at the top of our lungs, because we really do need to focus in on our work getting kids back.
While no public school division in Hampton Roads teaches critical race theory as part of its curriculum, school leaders did answer our questions about how students learn about challenging topics like racism in American history. To read these responses, learn how the CRT debate evolved into a political movement, or watch the previous parts of our series, visit 13newsnow.com.
And a new law requires the Virginia Department of Education to add cultural competency training for school staff. Any teacher seeking a license in history or social sciences must take an African American history course.
Board of Education will share guidance on the new training by the end of the year. If you have a topic or issue that you think we should look into, email investigate@13newsnow.com.